$45.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop. I'm gonna take the smoothie off.
I'm never paying $21 for anything at Applebee's.
I shouldn't get the smoothie.
$20 for mac and cheese and chicken tenders.
Yeah, it's kind of max.
We go right down to Stop and Shop and get some chicken tenders and mac and cheese
So I
for
order
$5.
something else.
Nah, order whatever you want. We got money. What is going on, everybody?
Yeah, but I just spent like $2,000 on this.
It's your boy, Alex G,
We're going to Dubai.
alongside Mal with another episode. I don't even know what number we're at right now. 50-something. Back again. But yeah, so let's get right into it. In entertainment news, there's been a lot of shenanigans going on in the YouTube world. So where to begin? I guess the first thing, we'll get the fun stuff out the way first. So there was the YouTuber fight, Deji versus FouseyTube.
Mm-hmm.
FouseyTube got beat up, and I didn't really think that was going to happen in the manner that it did.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very interesting. Shout out to Deji. That I feel like it was his last chance to really like do anything in the boxing thing because he's been getting like smoked by KSI for a while. So good for him to getting this win, and then that leads to more opportunities to get some more money down the future. FouseyTube, I'm surprised he got beat that badly. But this is the first time I've actually watched any of these YouTuber fights. Like I never watched the Mayweather.
I think I watched like the two of them. I watched like the very first one that they did. Well, no, I watched the YouTuber versus TikToker one, and then I watched the Mayweather one.
Actually, yeah, that's not true. I watched the original Logan and KSI fights.
Yeah. I didn't watch those, but I heard about them.
Yeah, it was interesting. Interesting night for the boxing world. I just hate that they fight such short rounds. Because for me, I'm like, if we're going to box, then let's box. So put us in the regulation size ring. Mm-hmm. I know they don't want to do that because people are just going to run around the ring the whole time and it's going to be boring and people are going to not want to tune in next time for the next fight. But I hate that. And then also how short the rounds or the number of rounds is pretty short. It was only like 4. So yeah, I didn't like that. But congrats to Deji for the win. We'll see who he'll end up fighting next. I'm telling you, I need to become popular on YouTube so I can knock everybody out.
I know.
Oh my God, it would just be so much fun because none of them can fight.
Yeah. I feel like you low-key have like the boxer physique too.
I do. I could definitely body all of them.
I can see it.
I would like to fight KSI.
I can really see you doing good. But then I would be scared. Like me in the crowd.
Oh, yeah. I might get knocked out.
But, yeah, and I'm not going to want to watch that.
But the beauty of it is that I'm not afraid to lose. Like, I think a lot of people have that fear because, like, when we were watching it, like I was saying, it's doing all that trash talking like it sounds good. But when the person's standing in front of you and they're liable to knock you out with any swing that they hit you with, it becomes different. But for me, I enjoy the competition. I enjoy the sport. So I would love to do it, even if I lost. I would love it.
I wish they had like a thing where like you could sign up. But the whole point is though they're getting the views because it's the YouTubers.
Yeah, because they're famous, and I'm not famous. But KSI did fight Swarms and Pineda, 2 YouTubers I've never heard of. I'm out the loop with the YouTube thing, so I'm familiar with like huge YouTube channels, but I'm not familiar with those 2. But he fought twice in the same night, knocked them both out. Mm-hmm. Swarms he knocked out for sure. Pineda he got dropped 7 times, which was embarrassing. Like I wanted to not watch it anymore.
Oh yeah, that's
the guy that kept running and complaining he was getting. Yeah, that's bad. KSI should have fought somebody else. But I think the problem is I don't think anybody wants problems with KSI. I think because he's gonna run out of people to fight.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna want to fight him.
He's undefeated, right?
Yeah. Let's see what his record is. See, he does so much. He has music. I searched for his record and
never heard of his music.
His music comes out. Yeah, he's 3-0 currently. So yeah, let's see.
Ooh, it's ginger. It's like rough.
Yeah, his professional record is 3-0. His weight division is cruiserweight. He's 200 pounds. That's craziness.
200. Oh God. So you wouldn't even be able to fight him anyway.
No, I think I can still fight him. Let me see what the
What's the
boxer weight
class?
classes are, because I forget how they're divided.
How tall is he?
He's probably taller than me. He's probably 6'1".
It says 183 centimeters. How what's that?
What centimeters? Come on,
Yeah,
yo.
convert it. How many centimeters on a foot?
He's 6 feet tall, right on the dot.
Okay.
So he's a little bit taller than me. So I would fall into the range of cruiserweight. So we would be in the same
good.
weight class.
That'd be interesting.
It would be
You
interesting.
guys, it's a pretty close matchup. I mean, you weigh like almost 20 pounds less than him, but
Yeah.
height, you're five.
It'll be fun. I love
Really?
boxing. I just love the sport.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not about me. It's about them right now. So I just love it. Like, I have to say, this YouTube boxer thing was a great idea. Anytime they do it, I love it, because it's like it's making those transitions. Like, I feel like doing YouTube is hard enough with making content, but being able to transition
You have to transition too.
to like a different world, with real sponsors and real TV stations and real pay-per-view, and people are making a lot of money with these types of
Like
things.
you make how much some YouTubers make it in years in one night.
It's a beautiful thing. Congrats to them, and hopefully we see more of these fights in the future. But I know people don't really want to fight because people are afraid to get knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
But even if these YouTubers don't do it, then I would at least like to see maybe some of the athletes fight some more, because they've been doing that.
And see, that's what some of these YouTubers could do when they start running out of people to box.
Mm-hmm.
You could just box other athletes, but the only thing is that could be. I mean, I might not necessarily be a bad thing though, because like you might think, oh my God, a professional athlete, but just because you're a professional athlete in one sport doesn't mean you're a good boxer. So KSI could still beat some people who might be football players, maybe, right?
Yeah,
Basketball players.
That's the thing.
Fighting the whole different
Fighting
art.
is a completely different skill.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to run somebody over on the football field will not translate into fighting, or shooting a basketball, definitely. Because you could see, like, you could tell people can't fight properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like when
We was watching,
we were watching a Swarms fight, and he was swiping down like this. Like, that's not how you throw a punch. Like, that's
there
how.
was no like you said, you had to go through
no
the punches. It was like kind of just like flailing.
And I feel like people shouldn't step into the ring because I know it's just a YouTube fight, and they're not fighting like actual boxer per se, but it's dangerous. Like, you shouldn't be, if you really can't fight, you shouldn't go step in the ring and fight anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, clearly, that Pineda person has never had boxing training ever in their life. Like, you don't turn your back to your opponent.
Yeah.
Like, or was that Swarms? I forget which one it was.
I turned it back. Yeah, got hit in the head, right? Wait, no.
No, he didn't get hit in the head from when he turned his back. But
I'm thinking about that Mike Tyson fight that we just watched on YouTube.
but
I don't know why my brain went to that.
But you can't do that. So these people shouldn't step in the ring unless they've really like trained.
No, yeah.
Like, even the athletes, like,
Yeah, because some athletes might think like who fought? Was it Logan Paul, or what was the other one?
Jake.
Didn't he fight some athlete?
He fought Nate Robinson,
Yeah.
basketball player.
Yeah. And Nate was favored to win because of the
He's just
favoritism and the
basketball.
basketball. Yeah, but it's like, and Nate Robinson might not trained as well. He probably thought he had it.
Knocked out.
Yeah, boxing's a whole different
Different
art
thing.
form.
So hopefully they continue it.
Yeah,
It was interesting. Fighting twice in one night is also,
crazy.
yeah, pretty crazy. I forget what it's called, but there's like a fighting thing like that where one person like
Like a tournament.
it's kind of like a tournament, except you stand behind each other like in a line, and like you're on two different teams, and you're in the very thin like thing, so like there's nowhere to run.
Yeah.
So the ring is like, I don't even know how to explain it. Imagine the ring is like the width of this couch,
Yeah.
and you're just in a straight line, and you just go at your opponent and
That's
just
crazy.
fight each other with nowhere to run. And then once that person gets knocked out, they like get dragged out the ring, and then the next person in line comes and fights that same person. It's like tournament like that. Like, people are crazy, but yeah, it was interesting. But in more YouTube news, speaking of fighters, Andrew Tate was banned off of the internet.
Wait, he's a YouTuber?
if you want to consider them that.
Oh, that's where he got his like fame from.
You know, it's tough to tell where the fame comes from nowadays, because it's like
Yeah, it could come from any platform.
it could come from TikTok or it could come from YouTube, basically.
Yeah.
But what I think
or
is
Instagram, but not really.
it's the streamers that clip their videos and then post them on YouTube.
Yeah, so it makes them popular like on YouTube.
Yeah, and then people will go from YouTube and then watch their stream. So however you want to classify it, he was kicked off the face of the earth by Meta, which means Facebook, and Instagram, and he was also banned from YouTube and I think other platforms as well. I think Twitch might have banned him too, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
I feel like they did.
But anybody that's on this clip, I'm sure you know, but he was banned for supposedly spreading misogynistic views and toxic masculinity, and that's the reason why he was taken off of all of the platforms.
Stupid.
I agree.
I don't think anybody should be taken off any platforms unless they're specifically making like threats or whatever.
Yeah, and that's my thing. I think
or like propaganda.
I think there's so many levels to this. Like I have an issue with, like, so many people on social media spew stupid shit, right? And we don't ban people for spewing stupid shit.
People say stuff all the
all
time.
day long, right? So why are we not getting those people out of there that are spewing?
It should be everybody.
Like spewing misinformation,
Yeah.
right? Like,
or stereotypes, or
just whatever it is, or people that have literally made threats on people's lives on the internet, or like all the men, like I was saying before, all the men in the comments that the second a woman posts anything, they write in the comments saying she has no father and all this other stuff. Like if we're gonna single out one person,
yes, ban everybody that's spreading any ideals.
It can't.
Sometimes the individual people that you see in the comments might have a bigger impact than even an influencer, because millions of people might come across a comment
and now have a changed mindset.
Yeah.
But there's no way to measure that.
Yeah, there's no way to measure that.
So I don't agree with the ban at all, but if we're going to ban people, then I hate this like favoritism and picking and choosing.
And the brands only do it because they're scared.
Yeah.
They want to look like, they want to be in the right side of the people.
The liberals.
Yeah, the liberals.
So
that's really what it is.
I thought it was stupid. Like, and if anybody's watching this, you can correct me if I'm completely wrong, but any clip I've seen, I don't think that I've seen a single take from him that has been crazy. I think the most outlandish thing that he said, or the thing that could be perceived to be the most outlandish, is if he's with a woman for a long period of time and she decides to do OnlyFans, that he feels like he should be entitled to her money. That's probably
that's kind of weird. Like, not even kind of weird. That's weird.
That's kind of the crazy. I don't think it's crazy per se, but that I think is probably the more scrutinizable, if that's a word, thing that he said. Because normally he's like just speaking facts.
Yeah.
It's just the way he says it, maybe, and the way he's been able to like infiltrate the minds of these young men. Maybe they're afraid of that part, but even still, like, so many things are influenced. Like, why? Then take down like everything else that's influential. Like, take down all videos about with all girls that have BBLs. Like, take down all of that shit. Like, take down.
Because BBLs literally could lead to death, and they have.
Right.
So when people making videos about
my BBL journey,
wouldn't that be dangerous?
Let's take down all of this shit. Like, if we want to do that, and I know some people are gonna hear something.
How to go to sugar daddy tutorials.
So
you're pitting people. Yeah, I've seen that. Like, the girls showing what websites they could go, and where to sell feet pics. So you're leading women down a path of potentially being like raped, kidnapped, exploited. But that's fine.
Let's tear it all down. The capitalistic toxicity of luxury goods. Like, look at this luxury haul. Like, and I know I sound like crazy trying to pull in all of that and relate it to this, but seriously, it's really all in line with it.
And all of this is just mass anger. People like to have a herd mentality for anything. So, like, I'm like, if you ask a lot of women why they even hate him, they can't even give you a good answer. Like, I could guarantee you most of them probably haven't, or not even just women, men too. Most of them probably haven't even watched this stuff.
Yeah, the men I think that I've seen that don't like him is mostly because they don't like his character. or like the character that he's portraying. And the women, of course, they think that he's misogynistic and he spreads all these things. But I don't know, because like there was the one clip where he asked all the women in the room what they want to do with their lives, basically, and literally or why they don't want kids was the actual question, and they each went down the line and said why they don't want kids, and all of it was because I want to focus on my career. Okay, and all he said, and maybe the way he said it is why people can't like see past and actually view the point. But he did scream at them and was like, the other day I was with my grandmother for her like 93rd birthday in a room full of like 70 people that all came from this one woman. And he said, if you want to sit there, and she's 93 years old, surrounded by everybody that she
I've
has a
seen like a
hand in
picture like
produce.
that recently. Like it was this mom that met like all her kids were in the same room for the first time ever. Like she had kids like all over, like in like Colombia, I think, or like in the U.S. And then you just see everybody and then the grandkids. I'm like, that must be a crazy feeling as that woman in that room. Like you
Yeah.
guys all basically are here because of me.
Right.
Like that's crazy.
And that's what he was saying. And he was like, if you want to do all that money, the motivator, and all I care about is my career, he's like, you're going to be 50 and then you're going to be lonely as fuck while all your friends have kids and they're moving on
And
with their.
we've said that on our podcast before. I agree because remember that was Kevin Samuels was saying. People use that as an excuse. No man's gonna hold me back. No kid's gonna hold me back. If you really want to get something done, nothing's gonna hold you back. Like my wine sister, you know, she was just talking to us at her cookout about her job she's getting. She got a kid and a husband. She's been with her husband since before college. Like they were together like as long as us. And she's doing very well in life. She's focusing on her career, and she got a 2-year-old. So people just keep making excuses, and I just can't. I can't because, and that's why like I can agree with that statement because those are the same people who become bitter 50, 60-year-olds, 40-year-olds, even 30. Because remember we said we're starting to see people in our in our age group, almost 30 or 30-year-olds, mad when their friends are going on family trips and you're like, oh, I feel like me and my friend are drifting. Well, like what do you guys have in common anymore? Like they have a whole family and stuff.
And now,
It's like
where I may understand where somebody would not like his statement there because not everybody wants to have
yeah, not
kids.
everybody wants to have kids.
But he was
yeah.
saying that if that's your opinion, then that's selfish because then he brought it back. He was like, people were fighting through crazy times, like all the stuff that your grandparents did to have you here because the only reason you're here is because your lineage has been around for hundreds of years.
Yeah, that is a crazy thought.
And he
like,
said, you
wouldn't be here without all the people before us.
and you just wanting to end it just
Yeah.
because you want to focus on your career, which you're probably not going to go anywhere anyway. It's
Only
just
reason
selfish.
I could agree with people not wanting to have kids is if they feel like they're not gonna be a suitable parent. Cause I could be fine with that. Don't put no damaging, emotional, and physical trauma on somebody. When you know you're not able to be a good parent.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if you're gonna tell me, like, if I hear somebody make the excuse or the statement that they don't want to do something because they want to focus on their career, I need to see what that career ends up being.
I need to see what it looks like now, what it ends up being. Because I've seen, like I said, I've heard that excuse. I'm gonna focus on my career. No man's gonna hold me back. So many people who I've seen say that are nowhere close to where I'm at in my career, and I was in a relationship the entire time I built my career. So what does that say? Like, it's you. It's not the man. It's not the kid. It's you. It's you. Cause if you want something to get done, you're gonna get it done. Even the career stuff, that's ways to work around it. If you have kids,
Yeah,
if you feel like you need to work late nights in the office, get a nanny. Bring the kid to daycare. There's ways to work around it, but it is funny. Like I do want to see where a lot of those people end up because I've seen that excuse so many times from our own peers. No man's gonna hold me back. Hold you back from what? Working at freaking AutoZone, like working
why is it always AutoZone?
Yankee Candle or something like.
Yankee Candle still exists. They have like actual
I
stores.
don't think so. That's like a throwback in my brain.
I ain't seen a physical Yankee Candy store. Yankee
Working
Candle
at the call
store.
center, like what's holding you back? The call center?
They're making
The
a lot of
government?
calls. They're making a lot of calls. They're debt collectors.
Yeah, they're gonna climb the ranks of the
The
debt
call center.
collectors center. Okay,
But
but all the successful people in my life were married, long-term relationships, kids, relationships. Like I said, so why you been single for like 10 years in your life is
and then
nowhere. Like I can't.
And then he told them to go ask their mothers if they regret having them. And he was like, they're probably gonna say no, because a child is like one of the best things about being a woman, that you're able to produce
I mean, he's not wrong.
another life.
He's not wrong. Like, that's a powerful thing. Like, that's a crazy thing. Like, sometimes I literally be like staring at myself like, there's no way I'm just here by myself right now, and somehow I could create a whole
You can
human.
just duplicate.
That's not crazy. I'm like, no, there's no way. That's not possible. That we grow a human. That's not possible.
Also, some takes that he has are about women being better at being nurturers and men being better at being providers. I don't think that's a crazy take.
It's not a crazy take, but you know what I mean. I don't believe in gender rules.
I don't either, but like the example that he gave, he was like, you would never leave your child with a daycare full of men.
Yeah. And the crazy part is, women know they want it. They know they want it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
they get mad at him for saying that, but you know you want it. Even if it's, you can't give yourself a valid reason, it's just deep down, it just doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, it's not even thinking in a weird way, like, oh, what if they do stuff? And obviously that is a possibility. But I'm just thinking more so, I feel like women just have that motherly instinct that men just don't have.
Right. And that's why
you look at the animal kingdom, that's how it is. The moms nurture the kids.
Yeah.
So for humans to have those same traits, it's not far-fetched. Like, we're all animals.
And that's why I don't understand where the outrage comes from of just simply pointing out that fact.
Yeah.
That women are more nurturing, because they're supposed to be. Like,
literally
scientifically, the nutrients, the sustenance that goes to the baby during birth comes from the mother. It doesn't come from
I learned that
the
today,
father.
because I've been watching this trial.
You learned what today?
Like, no, obviously I know that, but I'm saying like something I've learned today from this trial. Because, they're trying to really figure out if they're going to give this shooter death or not. And there's a lot to unpack. Like, the mom was drinking mad alcohol and drugs while she was pregnant with him. They said that as early as 12 weeks, there's something that starts with an M. That's like that the baby starts getting, as early as 12 weeks, the baby's getting nutrients from the mom. And people don't even know they're pregnant at 12 weeks. So that's why you plan pregnancies. So, plan how you eat.
So I don't see what's personally wrong with those sort of statements. And of course, like I said, I could have missed them. I'm not a tape fan. I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of anybody.
And we might have missed some crazy stuff that he has said that we haven't seen, but I feel like whatever he said that was so crazy would have went viral.
Right. And I
haven't seen anything that crazy that went viral.
To get banned off of every platform.
That's so messed up to me. I hate that. Even Trump, I don't think they should have took Trump off.
Me either. You can't
let him tweet, like.
And it's just crazy to me.
Sorry to interrupt. What's crazy too? He's making an app, and like apparently the Google store or whatever is banning him from putting the app on. So like they're really trying to stop him. Like it's like. And I'm not a Trump fan, didn't vote for him, but I just believe in everybody being able to have free speech. It's not like he's telling people, not like directly to go do something. I don't know.
Right. So like, and I'm okay with getting killed for it, but even with the whole Capitol situation, while I understand that, like, he didn't do anything to stop it, but in my opinion, he also kind of didn't entice it either.
Yeah, I forgot what the tweet was, but it wasn't like he was like, go pull up to the Capitol now or something like.
But even if he did, right, we still have to put the responsibility
on the people.
Because even if Joe,
but I could get in trouble for enticing a riot.
Yeah, and you're a president, so yeah. I do 100% get that. But if Joe Schmo from down the street tells me to go shoot up a grocery store, am I gonna go do it? No.
Yeah.
He can say whatever the fuck he wants all day long, but I'm not gonna go do it. So there still is some accountability on the people that actually carried out those things. So yeah, I don't like this whole deplatforming, banning people, handpicking who you want to ban, because when it was the election, Facebook was letting everything fly.
Mm-hmm.
They were letting people hack and do all types of crazy shit and perpetuate all these lies and things like that until he got subpoenaed into court for into a congressional hearing, I believe. Tons of congressional hearings about it. So it's like, to me, it can't be like hand picking and choosing who you want to give a platform to and who you don't want to give a platform to.
Yeah.
Especially when there's people that have huge platforms, like politicians that say whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like anything that they want.
Yeah.
And there's people like Tomi Lahren. Like, what if she has said something offensive and we should get her off the internet then too? Like, it's too much like politics with the whole social media thing, and it's the fake I care, so let's get this guy off the platform kind of thing. And it's probably also because Facebook wasn't, I mean, I guess they kind of do indirectly get money from advertising But like,
Facebook,
yeah, it's not like they were generating a ton of money off of his content, so it's not like they care anyway, really. But
yeah,
still, they shouldn't be doing this because it's a slippery slope. Like that Donald Trump thing, I didn't really like when it happened because I was like, it's almost like the COVID thing would make everybody wear masks to see how far we can push this in the future. And then they got the Donald Trump ban, and now they're banning people from all over the place, like Boozy and everybody else on social media just getting deleted.
It's stupid.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, he gone.
Back.
Speaking of platforms that I despise,
What?
YouTube.
Well, we've been talking about YouTube.
Shout out to our YouTube audience.
We've been talking
No,
about
but now we're going to talk about YouTube specifically, like the actual company.
Yeah.
So recently, some black YouTubers, like DDG and Corey Kenshin, and there were some additional black YouTubers as well.
I forgot who it was. Somebody else that said something.
Have been speaking out about some potentially underlying racism going on at YouTube in regard to the way content is treated, in terms of what videos get age restricted, copyright claims, pretty much everything.
And it's been a thing too, apparently.
Yeah.
Like I've heard this before. Like Clarence and Queen have said it before, like years ago, that they feel like YouTube is racist. Like I've heard plenty of people say that they feel like YouTube is racist, and just not agreeing with their monetization and stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, somebody like Corey speaking out is a big deal. Cause he's huge. His following is huge.
Crazy following.
And he probably has a lot of that following is probably like white people. I guarantee.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think.
But smaller YouTubers, you could be like, oh, you guys don't know how to make subscribers. You can make excuses for stuff. But when somebody like him is like, when they usually do have favoritism of big, like people on the YouTube, you could tell it's like, okay, something's weird, something's off.
Yeah, it's very clear.
Yeah.
So for context, for anybody that doesn't know, Corey Kenshin made a video just highlighting some of the various experiences and situations he's run into with YouTube in his content, limiting the amount of people that are able to see his content, making certain videos age restricted, or just doing certain potentially, what would be the word? Redlining almost. Of the content, not putting black creators on the front page on trending, like his video. I've never seen any black. Like
when you log out of my YouTube and just go to the homepage, never once.
Right.
I've seen a black person.
Even if they do crazy numbers like he does.
Yeah. Even if their video's trending, like on the platform, never seen them on the homepage.
Yeah. Not even for like music or anything like that.
Nope.
Never. Literally never. So, to give a quick rundown, Corey, as we know, or you should know if you're here, he's a gamer, and he recorded some gameplay of him playing a game that contained some imagery that might have been sensitive to some viewers. He got content restricted or age restricted. His video was age restricted, which of course is substantial because mostly kids watch these sorts of things. So in terms of views and money, that's a big hit for any video that he makes, especially because he doesn't make a ton of content. Whereas a white counterpart had the same thing, and then their content was able to be monetized and not age restricted. So just showing the different discrepancies, and then when they get called out on it, then they try to backtrack, and then they're trying to do damage control. But the biggest thing is why is it not consistent, right? So if it should have been age restricted, then it should have been age restricted across the board no matter what. And if it's not supposed to be, then it shouldn't be no matter what. It shouldn't be you get called out, and because you're called out now you want to do something different. Like it's kind of like if Gucci made everybody wear blackface and then they get the backlash and it's like, oh, never mind, we're gonna retract. It's like that whole thing. Like it just doesn't really make sense to me. And you could clearly see it. Like the one thing too, and I read about this a while ago, but even algorithms are taught to be racist.
Really?
Because a lot of these things are automated. So what's posted or trending, sometimes it's not even necessarily that there's some person behind the keyboard at YouTube saying
the automation.
Yeah, saying that, like don't recommend this content to this person.
What are they basing off though? Like the titles, the hashtags,
Yeah, like that type of
the
stuff.
imagery. Are they able to somehow scan the picture?
They can't scan the picture necessarily, but
hashtags.
like yeah, you can.
So if it's like hip hop music video, if you put in like in the hashtag, or if it's like the rapper's name.
Yeah, or if it's just like simply if you go through a particular user's YouTube history, based on the content that they view, you may be able to classify this person as a black viewer.
Yeah.
So if this video has a ton of black viewers, let's not post it on the main page because that means it's a smaller target market.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna reach as many, white people. Or
But then what about
Asians.
somebody like Corey, who we think that his views mostly white, which I would assume they are. I would assume they are, but I'm sure he has a huge black viewership too, of like the black gamer kids. But I'm sure most of his ways. So what do you think about someone like him? Why he still probably doesn't get on the front page or dealing with this stuff?
Probably because of what he said, where he feels like they just don't want that black icon, I guess, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because
we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
At all. Like, who do you know
ever.
that's like a big YouTuber who's black? Nobody.
Even if the content is great.
If you think of the people like PewDiePie, if you think of the Mr. Beast, there's nobody at that, even the Ace Family, like if you think of a family channel, there's nobody who's black that's in that top 10.
Like 10 million subs.
Yeah.
Except a KSI, I would say. But even him,
I never even knew who he was. I guess.
Even him, a lot of what helps him too is the Sidemen thing, where he's doing it with other races of content creators that helps his own individual channel. But there's really never been that gamer that got like Ninja sponsorships
Ninja,
on Ellen and all that kind of other stuff. There's just never really existed. And part of that, of course, they don't want to
pay them that money too, probably.
Yeah, like they don't want to pay him. Part of that too is, of course, the consumers themselves, because consumers would, if you're white, would probably prefer to watch a white person versus a black person. So it falls on the consumer as well. But YouTube, whether it's something specific, where somebody's literally sitting there like, "Yo, don't pump his content," or it's the algorithm.
Both are bad.
Just being,
Because the algorithm being like that too means, what are you teaching your machines?
It's not even necessarily that somebody's teaching their machines that. It's like the algorithm does it on its own.
Yeah, that is just inherently racist, which is crazy.
Like people were actually, this is recent too with Alexa, where people were, or maybe it was Google, but I feel like it was Alexa. People were teaching the new AI Alexa or something like that to be racist, and it would like repeat like racial
that's crazy
slurs. So because it was machine learning, so it was like learning how to be racist, and it would like spew those things back out. Or like I don't know if you've seen this, but I think it was Columbia Records, I want to say, they made a new AI rapper, and the rapper just analyzes all the different songs.
Didn't they take it down already?
Probably because
there's a lot of backlash.
Yeah, because that's crazy. But I think YouTube favorites what I would consider to be stay-at-home moms, like content that a white mom would be okay with having their kid watch all day. And I don't think that
YouTube plays it too safe, and that's why a lot of people have been leaving the platform once they got that new CEO. Like you see, Choice always talks about her. Like they hate her. Like for her name, but people do not like her. Like I think Diara said something on YouTube, like she was happy she got her 1 million, and then like the CEO literally was in her mentions, like on Twitter. So I don't know how she found it, but like I guess she was like, "Oh, congrats, Diara," or whatever. Trying to act like she's down for the people. You should see all the replies underneath. They're like, "Get out of her mentions. We don't like you. You're racist." I think her name's like Susan or something. People do not like her. That's just, she changed so much about YouTube, making it too family friendly, making it harder for people to make money. Like content that a lot of black people make, or the type of stuff that doesn't get monetized. It's like, it's not a coincidence. It's crazy, and like they're destroying their own platform low key, because these people gonna learn. Like these apps don't run without us. Like everybody relies on black people for trends, for music, for everything, fashion. These apps are wouldn't be sustainable without us. I can literally guarantee it.
And unfortunately, we still use them.
We still do. We'll never be able to fully have any type of protest like we did back in the '60s of stuff like. But you know what's funny? Do you think back in the '60s? Like we have a perception that they was all kumbaya, everybody was really working together for civil rights. You think there was black people that still rode the bus, or you think they really got it together? You know, like we have strikes and protests and stuff now, but you still gonna have black people that still gonna buy this, buy that. Do you think black people were still riding the bus during the protests?
I'm sure there was, but
The bus
it was enough people stopped to
For
make
them
something
changing-
happen.
Yeah,
People were carpooling with each other. All the black people were just
Walking.
getting the one, just doing whatever. So it was at least enough. Of course, you're never gonna be able to get all people on board.
yeah. You know, that's probably some people like, F them niggas, I'm taking the bus.
And if their commute was 40 minutes, I ain't walking either.
Yeah,
like
you already know there was definitely some out. That's the stories we don't hear about, which make them don't even seem human because we hear just. I mean, it sounds so perfect that they all work together. But they did enough, more than we could today, because it was still substantial enough, like you said. So.
Yeah, somebody needs to make a platform to replace YouTube.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we talked about this before with sports. Like there's so many wealthy black people that can do these things. We just don't know what it is. Like we come together and do these things. I just don't know what the hesitation is. I think it's like a fear of a failure.
I think the biggest thing actually is I think that the famous people are too famous for their own good. I think that people would specifically not support a platform just because it's owned by somebody that's famous.
Yeah, that's true. Because you can't just be famous. Like you actually have to have talent, and that's why these platforms like TikTok and stuff is somebody unknown, talented behind these brands.
But that's why something like Tidal didn't work because the person that owned it, this is Jay-Z's thing.
Jay-Z's platforms like.
So people don't like it. But if some random college 23-year-old, whatever, 22-year-old made the platform, then it just seems to work, right? But it can be done. Like the same way that nobody would have assumed that there would be another platform after Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah.
Then TikTok comes.
TikTok came and they're huge. Probably the biggest right now. To the point where, maybe not the biggest.
No, I think they...
It's still growing, apparently. They said there's still a lot of... Somebody did the analysis, and there's still a lag of people that haven't came on yet. So people were saying, oh, if you're trying to become, like, relevant on TikTok, this was, like, really your last chance, people feel like, because they said that there's still a wave of people that haven't got on to TikTok yet.
The older generation that doesn't really understand it.
Or even just, like, some of our own people our age are like, TikTok's for kids. Like,
Yeah.
Can you see, even you took a while to get there, like... I was right away. By 2019, I was like, oh, TikTok. Like, what's this? Like, because I've seen Trillo dance and stuff. I was like, let me join TikTok. But, like, there was a really big delay now. There was a huge wave of during COVID. And then there's still, like, people that just joined, like you, who joined last year in 2021. Like, so there's still a huge stretch of people that are coming in. But, yeah, who would have thought that would be a big competitive platform? I got Instagram to change their ways. Like, you influence Instagram.
And
Instagram Reels wouldn't have existed if TikTok wasn't here.
Or Shorts.
Yeah, or Shorts, yeah. Imagine having that influence. So it's like...
I can't wait to
like,
make
even
it.
Spotify, I wouldn't have predicted to be as big as it is, but they did stuff that made them competitive, like that. Their rap, people love like their wrap up your year. They do it better than Apple Music's like recap. So it's like Spotify got a huge. There's a lot of people who have Spotify over Apple Music. So, yeah,
Yep.
YouTube needs to watch out though, because you don't want to. You know, having somebody as big as Corey speak out is major. That's could create a huge dent.
You know what the problem is with that too, though, is that there's so few people like Corey that it probably wouldn't matter to YouTube.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
as the world expands and population increases, if it's even increasing, because I actually don't know that to be true, every day it's going to continue to be someone that is on YouTube that's going to be a money generator. So.
Yeah.
There's a whole world that we're not familiar with. I accidentally typed in the wrong thing in a YouTube search. Random channel pulled up from someone from overseas, doesn't speak English.
Millions.
Crazy views,
Yeah.
right? And I have no idea who that person is, but there's too many instances like that where there's too many popular people, too many channels with over 100,000 subscribers, too many channels with 1 million subscribers.
So you think, oh, everybody must know that. I'm like, no, that's a lot of people in this world.
Right. So it's like,
groups.
in the big scheme of things, would someone like Corey leaving the platform make a huge impact? And unfortunately it wouldn't. We need more of Corey's to exist for it really to matter.
And we need white creators to be allies. Like, they love to put the black squares up when the Black Lives Matter stuff was going, posting those black squares. But what are you actually doing? Like, if you see that your peers are going through this, protest. You make a video. You react.
Like,
imagine PewDiePie reacting to Corey's videos, because that's his community.
But they would never do it because
they're too scared.
I just don't think they care.
And so they don't care, but some of them actually probably know these high executives at YouTube. Like, they're so big that they definitely have dinners with these people, you know? They want to.
But and what? Like
Yeah, right.
that's
Yeah.
the part. Like the thing is about having morals. It's and what, like
Yeah, it's like,
when you
okay,
have
I
a
had
certain
dinner with
level,
you last week, but I'm still gonna say something.
when you have a certain level of morality, even somebody dangling lobster in front of your face in a boat is not
Yeah,
gonna
it's
move
not
you.
gonna.
It's not gonna move you. So we do need more black creators on that level, and part of the reason why they're not on that level is because of the way the algorithms work and the way
Yeah.
content is restricted and things like that. Because when I go on TikTok, all I see is the black creators like Case Sanat and or
But
Kai
even
Sanat.
TikTok for a minute was kind of lacking with giving black creators their credit and stuff, and banning creators with the platform, or see what happened in my video getting saying nudity. And the video back up, I got it. The appeal went through, of course. But it's like the fact that I had to deal with this, but then you had 16-year-old Charlie D'Amelio in a bikini, where TikTok is seeing her stuff, and people are reporting it to be petty, and her video's not taken down, and she was 16 in a bikini, and I'm 25 with no bra on, like nothing was out, but no bra like right now, and my video gets nudity, like what? Like there definitely seems like there's something a bias with TikTok's platform too with the black people.
Yeah.
Because black creators so many times said they was gonna leave the app.
The only thing I experienced, and who knows why it was like that, but when I started, like, my channel started really popping when I was doing the basketball reaction videos. Sometimes I would post something, and then now all of a sudden a video from 3 years ago gets copyrighted.
Yeah, right.
That kind of
the
stuff.
copyright stuff, yeah, from years ago. It's weird.
When it does that, that's a person sitting behind a computer going and doing that.
Yeah,
Because
there's no way. Like it would have already passed the test years ago.
Yeah, and it wasn't an audio thing because I made sure that audio would never have got caught anyway.
Yeah, so somebody sees your video or something, or your video gets on their radar, and then or your channel, and then they go back and look at something. Yeah, it's weird. A lot of weird stuff.
Cause like why?
And that's why people were so mad about Corey, because they say he's like someone else's video was watching. They say he's like literally the cleanest like person. Like he bleeps. They say even like when the game has curses, like he bleeps everything out. And there's so many other creators that don't do that. He tried his hardest to be so perfect, and it's still not enough. That's when it's like, all right, something got to be going on.
But they'll get away with it as usual.
Yeah, this will die down, unfortunately. And then whenever it happens again, it's just gonna be another video. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, Corey is a big, big on there. He's not like super big, but I think if he's persistent with this, something could happen. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got.
Oh, your topics.
Yeah.
Before the TV turned off, it reminded me to see that picture of Lizzo and Aries Spears.
Mm.
We can talk about that real quick before we get to my other topic. But you heard about what happened with that?
No.
Basically, I didn't watch the whole video, but he made a video. Who is Aries Spears? I don't even
Comedian.
know. Oh.
Come on.
Well, he said, look.
Oh, God. You got to know who Aries is.
He said that Lizzo is shaped like the poop emoji. Because her rose, like, look, you can see the emoji. Like, I mean, she kind of is, right? She kind of is. But, like, obviously. Like, but then he's big and ugly. So it's like, you can't be talking about people. That's kind of what I wanted to get at. It's like, when you look away, you can't be talking about people's looks. So
Why has Lizzo become the poster child of obesity?
I don't know. That's why it's kind of annoying. Like, why? Like, I don't know what even provoked him to talk about her, but it was an Instagram video, I think, and he just said she looked like the poop emoji. So, of course, I was outraged. Lizzo responded. I didn't see what she said, but then you saw at the VMAs. I don't know if you saw, but at the VMAs, Lizzo was like, for all the people talking about me in the press, like, I don't care. Cause look where I'm at, like I'm winning, whatever. Talk your ish. But I just think this comes down to like, I mean, he's a comedian, but I do feel like it comes down to like a deeper conversation about why like a lot of insecure people I feel like are comfortable, especially men, like ugly men. I feel like are so comfortable insulting women. Like they said, people pointed out too when he made the video, he was like laying in bed, but he had a baseball cap on. So it's like you had to put a hat on, like while you laying in bed. Like I mean, that's already says enough, right? That means your hairline, something is messed up. Like for me, I'm a black woman. I have this hat on because my hair is in a ponytail, whatever. I would have still made a video or whatever with this hat up if I wanted to, but for the podcast purposes, my hair looks crazy. My hair is a mess. But it's not like, as a guy, like you got a bad haircut. That's one thing. But usually with a guy of his age, it's your hairline's receding. It's different than me having my struggle bun. Like that's known in the black community when your hair needs to be done. Like he had to get up out of his bed to put a baseball cap on to make the video. That is indicator number one that you're insecure. And he's not good looking and he's fat himself, right? So it's like Why is that a thing? You feel like why are so many ugly men so comfortable bashing women who they feel are easily bashable?
I think that on a larger scale, you see this just in general with anything. Like, you never see someone that looks good in a bikini comment how about somebody else's bikini, but you always see somebody that doesn't look good. Body, we're not body shaming, but body looks not as desirable.
That's a good point. Even for women, you never see good-looking women bashing other women.
It's
really.
like always hard eye emojis, but the one that looks
The one that has a slick remark, you go to their page and you're like, well, no wonder you said that.
that look like somebody spilled pudding on the floor. Like the ones that look like that always are gonna be the ones that make the comments. But it's like that in general with everything. Like the people that don't have money always make comments about how
money.
billionaires spend their money.
Exactly.
Or whatever it is.
The
like
people who still live with their parents have something to say about people who rent.
the people,
oh, you guys renting? That's dumb. I'm still home. You are home not by choice.
the person that's jacked and goes to the gym, the guy in the comments is gonna be like he's on steroids.
Yeah, or like whoa, what are you doing all that in the gym for? Like it's just always a snarky remark. You look in their page and it's like, oh, well,
that's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
Shaped like a bowling ball.
Like the smoker telling me that I eat too healthy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Like
you'll have lung cancer soon.
Yeah. Don't worry about me. Just because you can't get yourself together. Why would you say that?
I know.
Why would you do that?
I know.
Why would you do that?
I know.
It's true though. It's true.
So I've always hated that. Like for me, like even me cracking that joke like that, but like we can ignore that joke. I'm like I don't take myself seriously because everybody takes themselves so seriously.
Yeah, they put themselves on this super high pedestal. Like,
and you're not like that.
You're really not. Like
nobody really is. But
like I hate like when girls be like, "Oh, I dated a lame." It's like, well, you're probably lame to a lot of people. You're lame. Like
you tweeting that makes you
yeah.
lame.
Like
so
who you are? Like who are you? And like you still dated him. They still hit like you're lame. Like
and that's the biggest
people just
thing.
have this elevated thing. Like you're not that lit.
People don't have any self-awareness. So like for me, if there's something I'm insecure about, I lean into my insecurities.
Me too.
I'll tell you right now what all the things that I'm insecure about. I don't care about that.
Me too. That's why like somebody made a joke. I mean this girl was saying something about BBL bodies, right? She said something about like the bodies, and then some girl in the comments on TikTok said something about like, but what if somebody made a video about your body? The girl came back with her response with a green screen, like, in the background. She's like, yeah, she's like, I know I'm shaped like this, and she moved her head. It was like the frog that's like really big, and then the bottom was like the big back frog. She's like, I know I'm shaped like this. She's like, but I still feel like how I feel. And everybody in the comments was like good for you, like you got the joke off before she could. Like people who are aware of themselves and like know their flaws. I make fun of people all the time because I'm aware of my flaws. Like you cannot say nothing to me. I'm skinny. I look like a stick. I know that's something I dealt with literally all my life. Like I know and that's not even insecurity for me anymore. I embrace being skinny now because I feel like my curves and everything came out perfectly. Like everything fell into place. Like I grew into my skinniness, you know, and my curves came in. So I think I have a really like ideal body. The only thing my legs, my long ass legs and short torso sometimes bothers me. But other than that,
Mike,
I knew you were gonna say that. But like I embrace that. And there's a lot of people who don't embrace their flaws, who have the most to say about other people, and they're mad insecure themselves. Like me saying stuff about people has not from a place of insecurities because anything like that I will say insecure about, I'm aware of. Like it's not even like it doesn't bother me, you know. So I love that the girl did that. She's like, I'm gonna get this joke up before you guys did this. I'm shaped like this, but I still said what I said. And I'm like, exactly. Like,
yeah. So I just never understood that part because it's like the guys that don't get girls that leave negative comments under women that look good just from simply existing. Like they just mad at them existing. I never understood that. So in this particular case, I know he's a comedian, but I don't know why Lizzo's become the punching bag of every fat joke.
It's so
when
mean.
This whole country is what 33% obese.
Like look at your mom. You can't be making fat jokes and your mom look like that. Your grandma look like that. Your aunt look like that. Your sister look like that. Look at your family, and you want to talk about like you want to make fun of Lizzo, like.
Yeah, I guess she did the Staples Center thing with
her butt out, which is I still don't agree with.
Yeah.
I don't. And the thing that people had to say is, oh, if Rihanna did it. If Rihanna did it, I wouldn't agree with it either. Your butt shouldn't be out at a basketball game.
And
Period.
Rihanna didn't do it. So.
Yeah, and Rihanna didn't do it. So like, why you bring her into it?
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, people got to stop it because that shit is whack.
It is, and like he just looks stupid.
And
like,
it's just like, and what? Like,
Yeah.
Like, okay, like if something happened where her weight was brought into question, like if she was like, oh, I'm so skinny or something like that, then maybe crack a joke.
Yeah.
But just the unwarranted.
It just seemed unprovoked. Yeah, like why say that she shaped like the poop emoji? Like that's messed up. Out of nowhere.
It's like, okay. But I don't know.
It's just crazy. But there's definitely some type of weird link with like ugly men saying stuff about women. Definitely something weird, right?
I don't think it's weird. I just think it's
Well,
obvious.
yeah, it's obvious.
It's just obvious.
It's kind of like level 1 minor stage of incelness, like, or just you just projecting your own insecurities. But it's funny too because like men will do that, like say something about Lizzo, but like as women, and maybe we said this before. That's why you kind of made the argument that women incels can't exist, and I think I saw someone else on YouTube say that too, or Twitter, which is funny because you literally said that like a while ago. When you say women incels can't really exist because women could just go out and like get whoever. Honestly, it's like so easy. So even something like Lizzo, there's plenty of guys out there. There's guys that you probably wouldn't even expect that would have sex with her.
The black community loves big women.
Literally. So it's like you're saying all that about Lizzo, but like she could go out and get whoever and you can't. So that's why I do feel like from a man's point, it's like it is like jealousy almost. So it's like because when you're ugly as a man, it's hard. Like it's not easy at all to get girls. If you think someone like Lizzo who's undesirable in your eyes, it's still easy for her. Way easier than it is for you. Probably easier than it is for a lot of women, Lizzo, to get other guys. But when you're ugly as a guy or seem undesirable by beauty standards.
The only thing that saves you is money. And even that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yep. So he's just projecting that.
Yeah.
And a lot of other men are the same way.
Yeah, men gotta stop with the commenting on everything women do thing. It's weird.
Yeah, just get yourself together. Go clear your skin up. Go work out. Go get implants for your hair.
I actually never understood commenting on a post, like a YouTube comment or like.
Commenting.
I get like obviously I get it, but I've never got into that whole thing because to me,
I'm into it.
Yeah, to me, it's the craziest concept to me to go into a stranger's comments and like tell them that they have sex with a lot of men just because they're
wearing an outfit.
They're wearing the leggings.
Yeah, it's
crazy to me.
That boldness is crazy because it wouldn't happen in real life.
It wouldn't.
That's the funny part.
Because you see those type of guys be in a corner looking weird.
At the club.
Not even at the club, just in general, yeah. Looking weird. Or asking for somebody's number and can't get it. Mm-hmm. That type of stuff. But what else we got?
Okay, I can leave that for last. Okay, well, I guess the next big topic that we kind of could talk about is this is old because this kind of is kind of old news, so it's not even gonna be long. But we didn't film last week, but that therapist that got fired. I kind of give you the background off camera. I gotta give you the background for it. But for people listening who don't know, there was a black woman on TikTok. She's a therapist, licensed, and then I think she worked at like a practice, and she basically was on TikTok just ranting and raving about how men aren't emotionally intelligent, how they needed to go to therapy, and all that stuff, right? But it's not like she just said that, but it's just like her delivery, like the way she was yelling, she was calling men bitches, like, you bitches need to go to therapy, like just talk to them, you hoes, like just very vulgar for no reason. And it's like, fine, if you want to talk like that, fine, but then don't expect to have a job, like, and that's when we'll get deeper into that. But it's like she was saying all that, but it's like, and then people in the comments were like, why would a man even feel comfortable going to you? Clearly you have some type of ill feelings towards men. And then if you go scroll through her TikTok, you could tell a lot of, I dated this guy, he's narcissist, I dated this guy, men are this, men are that. Like you could tell she has, and she even told a story about how like one of her exes said she'll never be shit, but now he's probably seeing her TikTok. So like, look, he's still got his grasp on you, and like you're doing all this things still with him in mind, that he's watching your TikTok and seeing that you blew up. So clearly she has ill will towards men. So it's like, and then you're just making these very vulgar, the way you're talking about them, TikToks. and then you expect, men to be comfortable even going to you. Like you kind of make yourself look crazy. And on top of that, she even said herself that 90% of her clients are black men. So it's like 90% of your clients are black men, and now you hear ranting and raving about them. Now they might see your TikToks, right? Your own clients might see your TikToks and feel like you're somewhat probably talking about them, Like you're saying that about them not being emotionally intelligent enough and them needing therapy, and how some of the stories that you heard and stuff. So like, who would feel comfortable going to a therapist like that, right? So obviously this went super viral, all that. And then it came down to it that a black woman wrote an article about her. The article blew up, and that's how she got fired. So she got fired by a black woman, basically. A black woman wrote the article. So keep that in mind, because when she came back and said that, look what y'all did. Y'all got me fired because y'all sensitive. I'm like, who's y'all? Because a black woman got you fired, not men. So see how she still tried to blame men for her getting fired when it was a woman that got her fired, basically, because her employer just couldn't take all the heat that was coming with the article. So Twitter, which is obviously, and TikTok, people going back and forth figuring out, you guys are wrong. You guys came for a black woman's job. But she got herself fired, right? Where's accountability? She got herself fired. No one told you to make a TikTok. She got herself fired. She wouldn't have got fired if she didn't make the TikToks, right? And then people are like, well, what about Kevin Samuels? His delivery was rough. Kevin Samuels was self-employed. He sat and made his studio in his house, wherever he was, right? Went on YouTube, made videos. He was self-employed. But was he certified in I don't know, was he certified? I don't know if he was certified in anything. But from what I know, he was an image consultant who made videos at home. This woman is a licensed therapist who worked somewhere. When you are an employer somewhere, you can't be doing all that. So I'm like, how are you going to compare self-employed Kevin Samuels to a woman who's licensed and worked somewhere? Like people don't understand. Like that's not even okay. Yeah, Kevin Samuels' delivery was crazy too, but he don't got no boss to come to. This was his platform. He was self-employed. If she wants to talk like that and make TikToks and have that delivery, open your own practice. If you don't have the means to do that and you can't, then be compliant. And I understand when you have these jobs, people. That's why I was getting mad. I'm like, I know a lot of people. I make my jokes again. I know a lot of people work at AutoZone and work
where else they work?
KFC and the call centers. But when you work at companies like where we work, when you're a therapist and work and represent people, lots of times you're signing stuff when you have onboarding that if you don't read everything, there's usually a small print about social media. My job said they don't check social media when they're employing people, but you still have to have. There's still a whole thing you have to do compliance about how you represent the company. So they say you're allowed to advertise jobs, you're allowed to say this, you're allowed to say that, but obviously I can't go and show my full financial statements before they're public. There's certain things you can't do, and like you have to be compliant. And so like I said, I know some people don't got serious life careers and they don't understand, but people with real big girl jobs and big boy jobs, you can't do these things. You can't say certain things. You can't make TikToks like that when you're representing an employer. Like you're an extension of yourself when you go out in the world, or an extension of your employer when you go out into the world. Whether you like it or not, if you don't like it, be self-employed. When you want to be certified, you're looking into your CFA. I've been on and off studying for the CPA. She was a certified therapist. When you have these certifications, you have to be compliant with that, or you could lose your license. Like people don't understand these things. Like these bum people who don't got these real world things was in the comments like you guys got her fired. No, she got herself fired. Like, you have an employer you're representing, and you have a license that you have to uphold standards for. No more told you if you want to be a TikTok superstar and rant and rave and call men bitches and hoes, and you should have been self-employed or open up your own practice. So no sympathy, zero. I don't feel bad for her at all. She did it herself, and I'm not gonna blame the black woman that wrote the article. I'm not gonna blame black men. I'm blaming her. She did it to herself. So she needs to get her own therapy. Like people were saying, like the background of her videos, there was clothes over the floor. I'm like, her life is not even together. Like her TikTok bio says, "I'm chaotic." Why would anybody even want to go to you? Your life's a mess. You can't even have a clean. You couldn't. People are like, oh, she could have issues. If she had enough time to make TikToks, then she could clean her room. I'm not doing that excuse. If she has issues, then she shouldn't be a therapist. Oh, she's not a therapist. Can't have issues. Therapists might need therapy. No, you shouldn't have. Like that's why you decided to be that profession.
No, everybody has issues, but in that profession, you're expected to be perfect. Yes.
Do something else. If you feel like you have issues, then you can't do that. There's plenty of other jobs to do. Whether that's your passion or not, if you feel like you have issues, no, you can't.
Go do something else.
Like it's just, I hate the constant excuses, and like everybody always wants to like, I know that black women are the most unprotected. I get that. I get all that. But at the same time, not everything is a damsel in distress situation. Like, she was wrong. She was wrong. And that's that.
People finally found out about the word coddling. And
Yeah.
I've seen that be thrown around all over the place.
It's crazy.
People,
The people use it, women use it most. Oh, men are coddled by their moms. Or let's stop coddling men feeling. I'm like, you guys didn't even know what coddling meant a week ago. Like,
yeah, I hate that shit.
but yeah, that was my main argument is that she did this to herself. Like, she shouldn't have been talking like that about them. And clearly, you need therapy. Go get healed or whatever problems you have with men and black men in particular, and you heal that before you are treating people. Because the main issue here too is why would anybody want to go to somebody like that? Like, imagine asking your therapist, you scrolling through your page and you see her saying that. Would you even feel comfortable with sharing stuff with her and being vulnerable with her? And I feel like another issue is we gotta stop pushing this whole therapy thing. Because therapy is not a viable solution for a lot of people. That's not the end all be all. Like, not every solution is not the cure to everything. Not every man needs therapy. He might need other things. So stop acting like, oh, men need therapy. Everybody needs therapy. No, but that's not a solution to everything. There's other things that people could do that's not therapy,
Yeah, talking about your feelings might not lead to shit.
At all. So it's like, that can't be like that's the only
I've also
solution.
seen people go to therapy and end up in worse situations.
Exactly. So, ugh. I'm like, get this ugly girl. She's not even cute. I'm like, get this ugly girl off of my freaking, like.
They treating therapy
looking
like
a rat.
how they thought the vaccine was gonna work.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the way they were saying the vaccine stops the spread. The vaccine didn't stop shit. The vaccine maybe prevented people from dying. I'll give them that.
Even that's questionable.
Yeah, even that's questionable. The masks don't do nothing. You guys look stupid. The masks really don't do nothing. Oh, that's a crazy part. People would die on the hill.
You know what's crazy?
People literally would die on the hill about the mask working, and they don't.
The NBA is making unvaccinated players test every week. See, still. That just came out today, I think.
This is dumb. It's
But we're
dumb.
not going to get another COVID rant.
Yeah, we can't do this because people
What
are
else?
mad. I will say this on the record.
No.
I'm so mad I got the vaccine. I did not want it. I haven't got COVID before the vaccine. Haven't got it since. My immune system, maybe that's why. Like, it's not rocket science. But anyway, I did get sick, but it wasn't COVID. So we got a therapist out the way. My next thing is, are people calculating, especially men? And the reason why I said that is because I feel like a lot of times when it's mostly women that say this, a lot of times when there's breakups, right? Or there's people in relationships, or just even friendships, right? There's always this whole, oh, this person was plotting on me. This man was manipulative. He was calculating. And I'm sitting here like, I truly don't think it's that deep. I don't think, oh, my food's here.
Hey. Yeah, so to finish her thought, she doesn't think that people are sitting there, huh?
As he pulls his glasses up, I can see it when the camera probably like, oh, it's me.
She's going to finish her thought and say that she doesn't think men sit there and calculate.
Yeah. Like, I don't think, okay, listen to the visual. I don't think someone's sitting here like, all right, so first I'm on.
What's good with the heavy breathing?
Because when people are like calculating and like thinking.
They breathe heavy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so step one, I'm going to buy her gifts so she falls in love. And then I'm going to pull her in and take control of her life. And then 3, I'm going to pay all the bills so that I'm in control of her finances. And then I'm going to isolate her from her friends. Nobody's sitting there with a journal doing all that. Like, people.
Yeah, I think most of what's considered manipulative is actually done subconsciously.
Yeah, maybe that's what they mean. If that's what they mean, then sure. But the way they word it, they make it seem like it's so, like, direct. And what's the word? Like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, when you do something
Purposeful,
yeah. Intentional. Yeah, they act like it's like intentional.
And it can be.
And planned. It can be.
Because I've definitely done that. But I don't think that the average commenter, because for me it was like very specific. Like, I was trying to do something, make somebody jealous, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Let me go get my phone.
But in general, I don't think the average male is going in writing down a full 10-step plan about how they're going to manipulate this woman to get whatever they want. I just don't see it because that's psycho. I don't even think women do that, but maybe they do. Because women do that. Sit there like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make him feel this way, so then I could take his money.
Yeah, no, I heard you when I was over there. Yeah, I think women definitely do that, especially like gold digger women. Like even the girl Cheney who was dating Kanye, I'm sure she knew that wasn't gonna be like a long term thing. So in her mind, it's probably like, oh, I'm gonna get this out of him, get this out of Kanye, like, and then move on. So that stuff definitely does happen. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like it doesn't. But I think people put too much. People put people on too high of a pedestal. Like people think too highly of people. Like low key, if you think someone's that calculative or
they may be a borderline genius.
You're putting them on such a high pedestal that they are so intelligent enough to do all this and manipulate you and do all that.
Like he was Bill Belichick right now.
People be thinking too high of others when more likely than not, people are just chilling. They like we move through life doing what we do.
And also the other thing too, which is a very common occurrence with women, is that I think women's hopefulness is also their downfall. I think that they meet somebody new, some new experience, or whatever it may be, and in their mind they're hoping that it ends up with this result. And because that's their bias, that's the lens that they're going to see things. So even the most minor thing they're going to take as being like some grand like sign that there's going to be more to come when it really probably is not the case.
Yeah, like, oh, he led me on. No, he's dating around. Like if he's just chilling. Yeah, nobody led you on. Like he just chilling. Like the one thing I guess consider leading someone on is if you know you don't want them and still pursue them. Yes, that's leading somebody on.
Like for example, if I buy someone food, that does not mean that I want you. It's food. Yeah. We have to eat, and it's $10. Like I don't love you.
And it's funny you say that because like for me, like I said, something that happens in friendships too. Not to say names, but we had a friend that said that about us I remember she made a lot of subtweets like around when our fallout was that people be plotting and all that stuff in regards to us, thinking of me and you plotting on the falling apart of our friendship or just stuff in general, or like we was sitting here calculating on how we were gonna bring her down or destroy the friendship. And then so I think she's kind of one person that I feel like is kind of a little off the rocker with the whole thinking people are calculating, because literally it was just a day by day thing with that. Like it's not like we planned for the friendship to fall apart. Like I lived with you, like what? But when you say like the buying food thing, like someone like her took everything, because even me being friends, I've heard the stories that she said about other guys and other girls take little things that you did as signs of like you liked her or something, right? It's like for me it's so crazy. Like it's like, no, you're just you. Like that don't mean you like somebody just because you're a nice friend. Like you're supposed to be a bad person. You're just supposed to.
I always said that about women.
Like it's so weird, and like I think a lot of times like especially because we were dating all 4 years like of college. Anytime you had any interaction, probably with girlfriends or just girls on campus, it probably was this whole Alex or Mal's man did this. Like you're just being a nice person. You're just being chill. And when I said that to her, I was like, oh, he's just a nice regular person. Like it was like, oh well, this is like you're just crazy. Like it's like the paranoia and the high mindedness of you thinking every little thing means something, or is a sign, or this person's calculating and plotted and planned to. It's like you're just being yourself. So
the funny shit about that is that I don't even understand where the misconceptions come from sometimes.
Me neither. I'm like, people can't just be normal. Like you said, buying food. It's like, I had money and you were hungry. Okay.
$10 quesadilla is making you feel like this might be a forever thing?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Like listening to you vent or asking you, oh, how are you?
You know how many people ask, like you? Like, you know how many people asked, how are you today? And didn't listen to the answer, the response.
And like I said, like not just her, but other friends I've had. Like I've heard
the
the delusion. The word is delusion. Oh, this guy tapped my shoulder today. Okay, he needed your attention. Like, not everything is some sign. Like, people are just so crazy. Like I said, most people in this life, including ourselves, we just walk through life chilling. So the stuff I did that people probably thought, oh, Mal is manipulative and she's this and that. No, I'm just living every day and I react to situations. That's it. I'm not thinking ahead. I have so much other stuff to worry about. I'm not thinking about how to take you down. Like, it's just craziness. So crazy. Like, you think that highly of me that I sat here and plotted this whole thing to end up the way it did? Thank
Over
you.
you?
Yeah, over you. Like, thank you. I didn't know I was so, like, you thought so highly of me. It's just crazy. Like,
Thought you was Phil Jackson with the schemes.
like, I sat here and looked at it years in advance on how this was gonna come down. Like, are you stupid? Like, it's just, people are really crazy and delusional, and it's scary actually. Like that people really around here thinking, people just really calculating it. Like I said, the main thing is like breakups. Like, you have couples that broke up like after years, and like, oh, he calculated this whole thing. Like, so you thought that man sat there and planned out a 3-year relationship? Like,
Let's move on.
Psychos. That's all I gotta say. They need therapy. Let's get that therapy lady and help them out. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3 more topics.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
3.
It's almost midnight.
I know. Okay, so, yeah, 3 more. Okay, so this is like the last kind of big one. The other 2 are short. So there was a Carisha Please thing, her show that she does. I haven't watched it, but she had Meg Thee Stallion on there. You already know what I'm about to say. This was like probably the big thing why you got so many views. But I think women are hypocrites. And the reason why I say so is because you have this Carisha Please thing where they had a whole segment talking about that they both had sex with other women before. And I think Carisha herself is bi. I'm not sure if Meg is, but Carisha's bi. And they were able to sit there and just talk about it so openly and freely. And it's like no big deal. And while Meg has a whole man at home, and like Carisha's probably with Diddy, who knows. Sit there so openly about it. And they're so sexually fluid. Like, women are allowed to be sexually fluid and experiment, right? And it's not looked down upon. It seems like a normal part of life. It seems normal. But men aren't allowed that same sexual fluidity, in my opinion. And it's just kind of like messed up. And then another thing on top of that is that, Carisha's Last Young Miami herself said recently, like in an interview, I think, or a radio show, that if her son was gay, that she would beat him and try to, basically beat him if he was bisexual or gay. But you're allowed to sit here and openly be bisexual? Like, that's not psychotic? Like, why is it that men aren't allowed that same grace and to just explore just because they're a man? Why is this such a big deal if men are bi? Why every time I scrolling on Twitter, it's, oh, men are sassy, men are gay. If this man is this and he's this, like, I saw someone else that said something about like if a man, let me find the exact tweet, but she was like, if a man's something, that means like they're gay or something. Let me see. I gotta go.
Good luck finding that.
Nah, it's gonna be like I quoted it recently. I gotta go to my own page. But it's like my whole thing is like, why is it this? Why is it that men aren't allowed that same? Oh wait, here it is. So she was saying if basically if women get tipsy and they start getting gay with their friends, I know these niggas do too. Then look, people were showing how she always says stuff. Bitches expose their baby daddy for being gay just to keep effing him. Bye, Dookie. These men keep mistreating y'all because they gay. Dudes be like, I'm fighting my demons the whole time. It's just gay thoughts. Like, she just has this obsession with gayness, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
is
like,
she gay?
I don't know. But even if she's not, it's like, I feel like a lot of women.
Or lesbian, I don't know what the classification is.
But even if she's not, like, why is it that it's generally acceptable for women to have sexual fluidity, but then it's so frowned upon if men do it? Or if like, oh, if you find out, if you find out your man's bi and that's just not something that you want, that's fine. Especially if you yourself aren't bi. Like me, I'm strictly straight. So I necessarily wouldn't be okay with it, but like some women out there are bi themselves and they would hate their man's bi. Like, Miami would hate if her son's gay, like, or bi. So it's like, what is it? Like, why do you think it's so crazy?
What I would assume it to be, and
sorry,
What I would assume it to be is women are probably turned off by the idea of the man that they're messing with being emasculated, and they view bisexuality to be emasculation. Don't shoot them green beans at them like Jesus Christ.
Okay, I see what you mean. Because either way you put it, as a man, whether you're the bottom or the top, is nasty, kind of. Not nasty, but it's emasculating.
Yeah, and women can still be viewed as feminine whether they're having sex with a man or if they're having sex with a woman.
You're right.
But men can't.
But the idea of it being emasculating is probably rooted into what our ideas of sex is supposed to look like.
Because that is what sex is supposed to look like.
No, it could be viewed as like woman, like, you know, if you're from the back, right? You view it as like woman being like the one in like that position, and like kind of the man being like the manly guy in the back, like aggressive sometimes or not aggressive, whatever. But it's like, is that because of porn? Like, why do we view that as like a feminine, masculine role? Those positions and sex in general.
Because
I mean, it is.
Because it is.
Scientifically, it is. Yeah.
Animal Kingdom looks the same way.
But then that's what I'm saying about how come two women having sex is not seen as taking away femininity, or because you know you're with another woman just scissoring and whatever they do. It's like that's not the way it's supposed to be.
I think it's because, I mean, I don't know.
It's weird. Like, I get it.
I get the answer.
And I get the idea of like when two men are, having sex. It's like you as a man, you're inserting your penis into a butt, but as a woman, you're just rubbing it against each other. It's still sex is still sex, but I guess like that thought process of like them entering into a butt, which is not really. I mean, it could be considered a sexual organ, but it's not really. That's not its purpose, as compared to two sexual organs rubbing against each other.
No, I don't even think it's that deep. I don't think that anybody's thinking that deep. I think it's just, I don't know. Women think it's what's the word? Women think it's edgy.
Yeah, to be gay, like, oh yeah, me and my friends kiss when we're drunk.
Yeah, like the Katy Perry song. I kissed a girl and I like it kind of thing. Like, oh, I'm so edgy.
Yeah, I'm bi all
so it's trendy. Yeah,
I can't, because all these guys keep cheating on me, so now I'm bi all of a sudden. Okay, yeah. Okay, yep, you're bi.
That's probably it. And because guys, typical male fantasy is women doing that, because guys imagine themselves being with both of those women or multiple women at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think that men don't care about that, and we don't generally view it that way. So then it's just not viewed that way. But women will view the opposite in that way. Like if a guy was with mad other guys, like that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like one of those things that's like you have to really deep dive into history, into the human psyche, into all that, because it's for me it's just hypocritical. Like it's just weird. Like if I was bi, like I don't think I would care if my man was bi. Like I'd be like, he's allowed that same. But even if like you're not, I feel like people are allowed that. You don't have to want that, but to look down on it is weird, because people, like men and women, should be allowed that same grace to explore and do whatever they want. It's just.
Yeah, the hypocritical part doesn't really make sense, but it's definitely the emasculation thing, because but you see those double standards in general, like women will talk about men in a certain way but then have sons. Yeah,
like I hate men are trash, men are this, men are that, but then have sons and then act like those sons are their boyfriends.
Yeah,
freaking weirdos.
So we do see that hypocrisy in general with, I don't know if I would tailor it to black women, but I see black women are probably the biggest biphobic community that exists.
Just, biphobic, homophobic, all that.
But it's definitely the emasculation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I wonder if, like, with the black community, if it's rooted anywhere in slavery because of what they used to do to the black men with the rape and stuff. And, like, black men might have been harboring that, and black men might be a part of the reason that is looked down upon, because them themselves went through stuff during slavery and looked so down upon gayness because of that.
That definitely happened, but I almost question the extent that happened, because
the buck freaking stuff.
Because if you emasculate a man, I would assume that would stop them from wanting to do more physical activity, if that makes sense.
Possibly, but it was Tariq actually who made the documentary about it. It's called like buck breaking, like that's the actual term.
No, I know it was a
and
thing.
they're supposed to get them like to act right. So it was almost like it was like a level of fear and like power over them. Like they say, it would still do physical activity, but it was a level of like dehumanizing them.
Mm-hmm. It was even in one of the scenes in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. So it's not like it would necessarily make them weaker, but it would just make them their morale down.
I don't think it's that personally.
It could be minor, but I don't know. Cause I kind of hate that whole everything's linked to slavery thing, because that mindset is in the whole diaspora. Like this in Africa, it's probably worse.
I'll die on that hill. I don't think that those things are why women view lesbians to be edgy, or bisexuality with women to be edgy.
No, that's not. I didn't say that's why it be edgy. I was saying in the Black community specifically why homophobia is so prevalent. I wasn't talking about that being the root of all that. I was just saying it could just be specifically why in our community it's so much more intense, perceived to be intense. But it's really interesting. There's this girl who was on Love Island, actually, who went viral on TikTok because her dad would braid her hair. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. Her dad was bi, and he did her hair her whole life. He sewed her sewings. And the video went super viral when she was on Love Island. That's how I recognized her, and she was on the challenge I've been watching. And he's still married to his wife, and he's bi, openly bi. So everybody's just different. Every couple is different. And I just think men should just be allowed that same thing. I just feel like the hypocrisy is real. Like whatever your reasoning is, for me it's just still hypocritical. There's no way for me to justify people being okay with women doing those things and not men. Whether you think it's emasculating, whatever you think about it, it's still just at the end of the day we're all humans. We're all humans at the end of the day. All this man-made, masculine, feminine stuff is just man-made ideals based off some form of science, but just also rooted in power and history and all that. It's just we all have to unlearn a lot of how we feel and just realize that the root of all this, we're all just humans. We're just slightly different hormones and chemicals, The same person, blood, same bones.
Don't touch me. We don't have the same bones. Mm-hmm.
Well, you have slightly different. You have a pelvic bone.
What else we got?
Well, it was like the last major topic. The last two topics. Since we're still talking, oh my God! Since we're talking about this, I guess we could fit this one. We'll do this one. Is eating your man's butt nasty? Is women eating their man's butt nasty?
Why are you staring at me? You want me to answer that?
No. I just feel like there's like a lot of tweets going on around lately, like a lot of women, saying how they do that, and is a lot of other women are getting mad at like why are all the baddies online telling us they eat butt, like, and then people just is no in between. There's either people who hate it or people who are so against it or people who are so for it. And my whole thing is obviously I'm very I wouldn't call myself experimental, but I'm just very like you hear how I talk, like I'm like so against traditional stuff. And I don't know, I feel like this is a butthole. Like that's the thing. I feel like a lot of women are admitting to themselves, like, oh, men are nasty. I'm like, why are you having sex or dating men that are nasty? Like, you're admitting to the internet that you sleep with or dated nasty men. Like, if you can't sleep with or date a guy who keeps his butt clean, and that's something you gotta ask yourself. Because it's his butt, it's his skin. It's not like I'm eating the inside of the butt. It's like, it's just the skin. It's just like a look in the skin.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So I feel like people are just very extreme about that. Like,
I think the biggest thing with these type of conversations is like, I don't know why. Well, I know why, because everybody is insecure and weird, and people should go outside and get some sun.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to be accepted with something. So if somebody's doing something, they want to do nothing more than to put it out on the internet and tell everybody that they're doing it. Whatever happened to the days of just doing something and just
being discreet,
but not even hiding it, but just like doing anything. Like, you don't need to tell me I'm at the grocery store. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're at the grocery store. Like, just if that's what you do, then just do it. There doesn't need to be a debate every day about, oh, y'all doing this, y'all doing that.
No,
like,
wait, I seen a funny thing too. It was like the Wheel of Fortune. It was like Black Twitter topics. It was like all the main topics, like 50-50 rant, eating butts. Thot's daughter or gay son.
It's just a
It's just the
stupid
same stupid
stupid
topic.
conversations. Like if you want to do it, then do it. And
Just
if you
do
don't,
it.
then don't.
Yeah, and don't. I
And
feel
you don't
like
need to tell anybody.
you
It's
don't.
okay.
Yeah, you don't need to tell
I
anybody,
put-
and I feel like that. And then you feel like you don't. You also don't need to degrade people for whatever their sexual preference is. If you don't want to do that, then that's fine. If you don't want to eat butt, then don't eat butt. Like no one's forced you to eat butt. Like
Like you don't have to take offense to other people eating butt.
yeah, and you don't have to take offense to people not eating butt. Like
Who cares?
just do them.
Me personally, yeah. If he's dirty, then just say he's
Yeah,
dirty.
but if he's dirty, then he's dirty. Like they'd be like, "Whoa, but what about the hair? I mean, hair could still be cleaned. Like take a shower beforehand. Like you, people are telling themselves that they just be dating nasty people. Like you guys really be
Cool.
telling yourself.
And if he specifically wants it, then tell him shave it.
Yeah,
Because it is a hassle. Like
yeah,
if a woman was crazy hairy, like I'm like, all right.
yeah. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? You're like, all right, you have experience with that?
No, I'm saying like,
I'm kidding.
like
I'm
we
kidding.
we got to do something because I'm not about to sit here with a machete
Yeah,
cutting down the vines trying to get through
that
there.
just brings it. Like like most people, I think, aren't even comfortable even talking about what they like or what they don't like or what they want for their partners to do. Like people out here just be having sex with people for validation. Like I swear to God, they do because they be. I mean, how do you overthink sex? Like people be like, oh, I be thinking too much, or I be embarrassed by the noises. Like the noises our vaginas make sometimes, was like farting. Like how's that embarrassing? Like you guys be having sex with people you be embarrassed by human things happening with. Like, and then that's when I tweet the other day about like how, oh, we laughing during sex, we really locked in. I'm like, why does it even have to be a tweet? Like that's not common. People don't laugh and bond during sex. Like everything's just so performative with people, right? People just care about too much about porn and this and that. I'm like, I can't imagine living like that. Like I love just being locked in. Could we laugh?
Locked
That's normal.
in.
Like what the heck? It's like you guys overthink everything in life. Like ease up. It's just sex. Like if you are comfortable enough to even have sex with somebody and be in that position, but you're embarrassed by your vagina farting, like that'd be the best part. Like it's not like you when you be acting like it's like World War III, you be like,
Bah, bah, bah.
like it's nothing. Like people are just so like. I pray for you guys honestly because I can't imagine living a life of just so much shellness and being so strict and rigid and everything got to be overthinking. Like
Yeah, it goes into the masculinity thing, but for me, I don't think that aside from getting pegged with like a male shaped dildo,
yeah,
aside from that, I don't think that like anything a woman does to you
the process in there.
it can't be gay because it's a woman doing it to you.
Exactly. That's my whole point. Like, how's it gay if it's a woman doing it? It's like you don't want a man doing that to you. You want your girl doing that to you. Like,
Now if it's shaped like some meat,
yeah. Now we got a question. Why you keep asking to bring out the meat?
yeah, why the meat coming out?
Okay, yeah, right. But it's like, is your girl doing that too? Like, people just overthink everything. Like, people are just gonna live these long, miserable lives, and that you just can't. You can't talk out of people. People gotta realize it on their own, or like you said before, or they won't. They'll just die with these stupid ideals.
Yeah, do what you want.
Yeah, do it honestly, but so, like, that's
Do
that.
everything. Like I hate the validation. Like it's almost like people are asking like, "Hey guys, is it okay if I do this with my partner?" It's like, why
you know
are you
the
asking
funny-
the internet?
The funny thing is too, like when Jen A came out with the song like God Eat
Groceries,
yeah,
yeah.
that became a huge thing, and people weren't
Then,
doing that till the song came out. And I remember me telling my friends like, "Oh yeah, like how does that? Ooh, he does, oh my God." But then those same people years later now are like retweeting stuff about like, man, eat my butt. I'm like, you're only doing that because it's like cool now. Like it's so whack. Like it's so whack. Everything for people is just like
I don't do anything.
okay.
You thought I was feeling you?
Don't play that stupid song. I hate that stupid song. It's so dumb. Like I hate when people just on the internet.
You're a munch.
The song is dumb. You don't think the song's dumb?
No, it's fire.
It's not fire at all. It's so dumb. And people just pick up on everything. Like now it's everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. Why everybody is so predictable and sheep running around.
Well, I think people genuinely like the song, but then,
I do.
But then Drake,
Signed her, yeah.
well, did he sign her?
I don't know if he signed her, but she was on her plane, right?
Yeah, because everybody says like, oh, she got signed because of this. It's like, yo,
Drake is a weirdo though. Like, why he always be like around the newbies? But then people also brought up like, oh, is she only cool and possibly signed because she's light skinned? And I'm like, oh, here we go with that argument. But I'm like, for me, generally, like, I mean, it's cool. We haven't really had a New York drill artist who's a woman blow up. So, okay, fine, cool. But it's just the overhype of the song. Like you could tell most people just they see that one person made TikTok, so now they're just making it. It's just becoming too annoying. Like I'm not a big fan of drill music too either, so that could be part of the reason. Yeah, please don't ever repeat that stupid. Like what's a munch? Like we're from up here, and I never heard nobody say munch.
It's a guy that just eats girls up. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, but have you heard people say that before her?
Muncher. People say muncher.
Nah, but she kind of made her own little thing, I feel like. That's not even really New York slang. I never heard anybody say, oh, he's a munch or I'm a munch.
I've heard muncher.
The lyric doesn't make sense, though. You thought I was feeling you. Or she's saying she's a munch.
No, he is.
So what does that mean?
That, like, she didn't really want him. She just wanted the neck.
Oh. So he was just like a...
Just a munch.
Yeah.
He's just a muncher. He just eats.
What would you call it? A booty call?
But just to get the munchies.
I never heard nobody come up here saying nothing about no munch.
You're not from New York. You live in New Jersey.
The river is this big. It's
But
right
you live,
there.
You live in New Jersey and you don't go outside.
New York and New Jersey are not much different. Like North Jersey, but it's not that much different. Like North Jersey, I mean,
Culture-wise, yeah, I would say
culture-wise, yeah, because if you think about the New York culture, that just is deep. It's
that.
deep in New York. Yeah,
Don't
you're right.
do
No,
that.
'cause I'm saying it's deep in New York, and it takes so long to get to these places that's why the cultural difference exists. 'Cause even though it's so close, getting from here to like my grandma's house in Brooklyn takes like 40 minutes, and New York is right there. It's like 5 miles away, but it takes 40 minutes for us to get over there, and that's where the culture is, like deep in where she's from,
There's
East
also
New York, Canarsie area. Like
There's no Jersey version of like
we have Jersey Club.
like Lower East Side.
Yeah, there's no different sections.
Yeah.
And like I said, most of this New York culture that people speak of comes from Brooklyn.
Mm.
Like you see my mom growing up, that was her block, St. James Place, Lefferts Place. Like Biggie was right there. Like that was Bed-Stuy, Clinton Hill, or deep, like Pop Smoke, Canarsie, like deeper in. So it's like, and then the Jersey culture was Newark, so that's pretty significant distance, Newark from even downtown Brooklyn.
Mm.
On the map, it's not, but actually getting there by car, bus, or train, it still kind of takes a little while. So. There's definitely cultural differences, but it's not like significantly different. And I hate how they be acting like it's that different. Like we would have known the New York slang. I never heard no munch, but maybe like I said, I'm not around, so maybe they do be talking about that.
Yeah, you don't be outside.
Yeah, okay. Then maybe they do.
You're not from the Bronx.
Yeah, she's from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Ice Spice. Yeah, and Bronx culture is different in Brooklyn, and Queens is different. So.
Yeah, all those different rap styles.
But now it's gonna be popular, and now you're gonna see the white people watch. You're gonna see the white people on TikTok talking about some munch.
If I see, all right, let's move on because I'm not even
being white must be like boring because like they had to be like, I thought I was feeling you. Wait, did you say nigga in that song?
Mm-hmm.
Is he that nigga much, right? Mm-hmm. They gotta be like that. Oh my! So they would do the whole finger thing. Like, it's just like don't sing the song. They'd be like, whenever the song says nigga, isn't that so stupid? They'd be like,
yeah, you could just not.
They'd be like, I thought I was feeling you that a munch, or just anybody who's not black. They'd be like, you just see their mouth. They'd be like that a munch. Like being black is lit. I'm so sorry. I can't be any other race.
That's a crazy reason
To say nigga, yeah.
That's...
No, it's because they want to so hard, like listen to our stuff and be part of us and sing the songs and stuff that they can't even say the stuff.
Conversation got to come back here
because that's the world we live in. Like,
God,
we're so.
I just said it as a joke.
Babe, it's hard being the coolest ethnic group in the world. Like, it really is because it's like annoying. Like, everybody, they just be yourself. Like, I was watching the K-pop stuff in the VMAs. I'm like, what is this? Like, but if we did like a traditional Korean thing, we would look crazy. But everybody's allowed to do hip hop. It's just that shit just be pissing me off. I'm sorry. She was over there like speaking Korean with the Aaliyah fit on. I was like, And they have a cult following because black culture is so lit that K-pop has such a cult following because it's just the appropriation of our culture, but with a Korean face. So of course it's lit because they feel cool. It's just K-pop I can't get into. I was watching, I was like, turn this Blackpink, who's that? Like, turn this off. But yeah.
Is that it?
The only last thing I had was student loans.
We ain't doing that.
No, I was saying like I'm happy to forgive.
Cool.
And I just feel like people who we say real quick, don't cut me off, but people who have that whole I paid mine, you should pay yours, like about the forgiveness. Do you feel like they're valid in how they feel, or do you feel like it's that whole mentality like they did that diagram, but the people are laying on the train and some already got ran over, but you have a chance to turn it for the rest not to get run over? So do you think they're valid in feeling a way about their loans not being forgiven and having to pay theirs, or do you feel like it's like, you know how hard that was, you should be happy that people are getting a chance to have those forgiven?
I think if it doesn't concern you, then it doesn't concern you. So for me, in my opinion, if I already paid for the loans, someone else getting their loans forgiven doesn't have anything to do with me because it's already paid.
Yeah, you don't owe
So
it.
I'm not gonna sit here and complain and bitch about, oh,
It's giving like hater vibes, low key.
woe is me, I paid for my loans.
Yeah.
While I do understand the logic of that, you being upset that you weren't able to take advantage of, a $10,000 reduction or $20,000 reduction
Yeah.
in your student loans. Well, I do understand that. One of the biggest things, it's almost like the same thing as like a younger sibling doing better than you at something. It's like, that's such a hater thing to experience and like to say, that you don't want somebody else to be potentially in a better situation because you were not in a better situation.
Yeah.
Like, that's just real hater shit.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing as like people getting mad at celebrities for having money. It's just like really stupid. And like, people focus so much on because it's like the same thing I was saying to you about the way I've been dealing with the student loan thing. Like, there's never gonna be no woe is me, all this debt, I gotta pay all this back, I wish I had all this money so then I could go put it. It's not gonna be any of that, because first of all, it was voluntary. I signed up to do it. I signed the documents that said this is how much you're gonna pay every single year, every semester. I saw
You
how much
knew
the
what it
food,
was.
what the meal plan cost.
Yeah.
I knew what all these things
And
were.
all you did, like, that's the thing, if you paid it off, you did what you were supposed to do. You paid out the money you owed.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to sit here and cry all day long about how college is so expensive, even though it is.
It
And,
is.
and it's unnecessarily expensive, I think. But I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. Like,
Yeah, it's like, it is what it is. Like, that's the life.
and
you
I'll
know,
pay it off,
pay
and
it off.
and I'll move on, and
Yeah.
I'll be successful in my career that I was able to get because of my degree, or I'll start
Yeah.
a business and be successful there. And
Like,
I just
but
keep
to be
moving.
mad about it is like crazy. Like, and to not want that for other people, to have that forgiven. Like, life isn't fair. If you want to really talk about it, everything is all about timing and everything. And it's like, you can't be mad about that.
All the people that are mad about, like, because there was some people that are like in their 50s on my job mad about people getting the loans forgiven.
Yeah,
I'm
but like, you went to school for $10. Like, let's stop. Let's
Yeah.
let's start there. That's another thing too that gets me mad. These people were talking about loans that they paid off that were so much cheaper.
Yeah, my car cost more than my parents' college education, and they graduated in 90
Not long
or
ago.
like 80 something, 90 something. My car cost more than all 4 years of their college education.
Yeah. So it's like, of course, I would hope you would have paid your loans off that were that cheap. That's why that one guy that, like, his loan, he was saying how he's still going to pay his despite the forgiveness. But he said he got his loan out in 92. I'm like, sir, your loan is older than me. You should have been paid that off. Like, that's the 30-year
You shouldn't
loan.
be taking 30 years to pay off a loan.
Like, you need that forgiveness, clearly.
Now, if
Like,
you're upset because you went and overpaid for, because you did, you
Interest.
overpaid for. I'm not even talking about the interest. I'm like the value of something. It's almost like buying a Maserati. Buying a Maserati is one of the worst things you could possibly do because it's probably the quickest depreciating car that you can buy.
crazy. I always wanted one too when I was younger.
You could get a Maserati for $30,000 that's 3 years old, like right now,
Crazy.
because they're shit.
Yeah.
And I think people bought really, like, let's say a Maserati is $100,000. Some people spent $100,000 on a Maserati. Like, let's say everybody
They
had
paid it straight.
$100,000. Let's say everybody had $100,000. Some people bought a Maserati. Some people bought a Porsche. Some people bought a Civic. Some people bought a Hummer. Some people bought a bunch of shit. The person that has the Civic is the representation of the person that paid for a car that works and that will take them far. Like a business degree, engineering, doctors, whatever. The person that's overpaid took that $100,000 and bought a Maserati that depreciated down to $30,000 after 3 years. That's people in certain majors that they overpaid for their degree and they went into fields that are never going to make shit.
Yeah.
You should not graduate. You should not get a degree where you're going to be making $40,000 the rest of your life.
Like, that's the dumbest thing you do is to
Dumb.
get all that debt in a career that you know it's not going to even help you pay that debt back off. Like, that's stupid.
Dumb
Very
investment.
dumb. Very dumb.
Just dumb shit. Like you could have, you know what you could have done with $100,000? You could have took $100,000 loan, threw that shit in the stock market, and done a lot better than wasting it on a degree that's not going to generate you any money.
At all.
So that's my opinion on it. Because
I'm sorry, I don't feel bad. Like, I know people be like, oh, but you pick these majors when you're 17, 18. Like, we have Google. At 17, 18, you're smart enough to research careers that are going to make you money. I don't care.
they made us do that in like elementary school.
Yeah. And people be like, well, what about your passions? It's like, okay, you can have those passions, but don't be mad that you're not making the money.
You know what Mark Cuban said? He said you shouldn't, and I hate to paraphrase it. Let me see if I can find the actual quote. He basically said something along the lines of, you should never pursue anything that you're passionate about.
It's true. Because the things that make the real money aren't people's passions. Some of them.
Let me see if I can find the actual. Yeah, so this is what he says. He said, a lot of people talk about passion, but that's not really what you need to focus on. When you look at where you put your time in, where you put in your effort, that tends to be the things that you're good at. And if you put enough time, you tend to get really good at it. And the things that you put time into, you end up becoming passionate about.
Exactly. Because, like, accounting, when stuff be going my way, and I figure stuff out. You saw how excited I was when I figured out thing out the other day, right? You saw that?
This is hilarious. How can I be like Mark Cuban?
Stupid.
Stop following your passion.
You saw how excited I was the other day, right? When I finally figured out that thing. It's like, that's what makes accounting fun, when you actually can figure these things out and like problem solve. Like, so it's like you spend so much time doing these things. This is your life, your career. You end up enjoying it.
Yeah, you can't chase.
And I'm making good money on top of that. So.
And basically what he's saying, like, you can chase your passions, but people chase passions that they're bad at. Like, don't chase your passion
Exactly.
of being a musician and you're trash.
Yeah,
like,
and now you spent all your money on a degree in that, and now you're working, you end up still in an office building.
Don't pay $100,000 to be a graphic designer and you can't make a poster. Mm-hmm. Or, like, just simple things.
I wouldn't even get a degree in graphic design. You could do that on your own, I feel like.
Yeah.
And
that's the other thing. Like, if you don't feel like you can get it on your own, like, I know the companies want to see a degree, but if you're really good at what you do in those type of artsy fields, you don't need a degree.
Your work will speak for itself.
Like, so many audio engineers never went to school for audio engineering. Mm-hmm. They just figured it out and learned and then networked. And then,
even dance. You don't need a dance degree if you're a good dancer.
Yeah. So it's just bad investments. And whether... Maybe my upbringing is speaking, but I would never have signed up for a degree that I didn't think was going to make money, even at 12 years old. I was Googling what astronauts make.
I used to literally Google the top 10 salaries.
That exists.
Yeah.
What do brain surgeons make?
Yeah.
I was searching all that stuff when I was a child, so I don't. With certain things, I don't give that.
I can't get that excuse. Like, it's 20, and maybe in the 60s, 70s, yeah. But now, where we live in a world where it's literally everything's at your fingertips, people are learning about like these tech jobs. People are learning about things that are making them money, but it's like that's nothing too. Can you actually graduate in those degrees? Because they sound good, but people don't work hard enough either. Too. People want the easier out. So.
Yeah. So the student loan thing is just some heater shit. Like,
it is, and you saw what the White House was tweeting. A lot of those politicians that were saying stuff, literally got their loans forgiven. Like, did they not realize that's public information? Thousands and thousands and tens of thousands and 100,000 of PPP loans forgiven. So it's like, you really do sound like a hater, and like that for me is weird. Because like, are you trying to push a political agenda knowing that you got loans forgiven, or are you just that much of a hater about the student loans, even though you're getting your loans forgiven?
No, they're trying to push the political agenda. Like that specific conversation I'll leave out, but
yeah, because that's definitely agenda pushing. Because it's not like, I don't think they're haters. They're just pushing that.
They're just, the Democrats are like, anytime a Democrat does anything, the Republicans going to say something, and then vice versa.
And they're pandering to the Republican people who are hating.
Yeah, and then it's vice versa. The Democrats will say anything, like, they'll find, like, there was something that happened today. I'm like, because I watch a lot of news, financial news, and they sprinkle in some politics in there sometimes. It's like nobody was even talking about this, and then somehow they found a way to bring up Republican. I'm like, what did that have to do with
this whole
anything?
Republican and Democrat thing is the stupidest thing that this world has ever had. This is a comedy show. Like, humans are just so bored that we need divide. We need drama. It's so whack. So whack. The only thing I know is I'm about to get this money. They said October. I'll owe 120 now. I'm just kidding. I'll owe like probably 100 now because I'm getting the Parent Plus loan. Hopefully my mom gets her own for that since it's under her name. And I have the Pell Grant. Don't know how. I'm not going to speak too much about that because I really don't know how I got that. I was asking my parents when I was over there. I'm like, how did you guys get this when you guys make
IRS
like
is into the chat.
$200,000?
Probably shouldn't have said that on video.
Ooh, I'm not scared.
Nah, the way they're cracking down.
The PPP
now
loans?
you're gonna have some hater
I know.
clip your shit, and you gotta watch what you say. Anyway,
But yeah, the PPP loans, Biden's coming for them. I don't want to talk about that, right? But yeah, they do be cracking down. I hope they get those PPP loan people though, because a lot of them was really talking crazy online.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's it for us.
I gotta go to the office tomorrow. Sadly.
This has been the A Couple of Things podcast where we talked about a couple of things. We will see y'all next week.
Will we?
No.